Hey, welcome to another episode of Music Tips and Reviews with JG. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I always appreciate the love. I always appreciate the comments that you all give on my videos. Uh, like I said this year, I'm gonna do more music tips this year. Uh, just from my thoughts. Every day I have different thoughts about music. When I listen to music in my car, listen to music in the house, I have thoughts, I have topics I be thinking about. And today I want to uh, get into this topic. But first, I want to play a clip from Grammy Award winning producer Brian Michael Cox. He worked with so many artists. He worked with Usher. He worked with Tony Braxton. He worked with Mariah Carey. He worked with Mary J. Blige, which he won one of the top songs of the decade or something like that. But he won so many awards from CSAC. And so check this out. This is advice. He talks about advice or something he learned from working with Jermaine Dupri. So check this out.
That we did the first day that we had a session with Usher in the brand new studio. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I learned a lesson as a songwriter
And first, shout out to I Got Soul for this interview. They have so many great interviews with artists, producers, songwriters. So check out their channel. I Got Soul.
Songs in the conversation. The lesson I learned as a producer was connecting with an artist properly, talking to an artist, getting to know an artist, and sonically, less is more. All right, because
So pay attention to that last part where he said less is more. So he gonna get into the story of you got it bad. They was working on 8701 for Usher, and hear what he says about less is more. And I think a lot of you producers would learn a lot from this lesson.
Being signed to Noontime is an offshoot of of I would say like Bad Boy Hitman, right? Right. We were, if you had to compare crews, you know what I mean? We were like a junior, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of what I did as a producer at Noontime was orchestration and big ass intros and strings and all, everything but the kitchen sink in a track, right?
Yeah.
And when we were coming up with the track for I'm sorry, for You Got It Bad, I did the 16 bar loop and I had all kinds of shit in it, strings and lead lines and wind and all kinds of shit in the track, right? Guitars, all kinds of stuff. And I remember I went to go get JD, man, come listen to these 16 bars, you know what I mean? So he comes and he press play and he goes and he mutes every.
And so You Got It Bad, Brian Michael Cox, he was the main songwriter for that song. And that's one of my favorite songs from Usher, You Got It Bad. I love that song.
Sound that I put in there. He just starts muting all the sounds and shit. And the sounds that he kept in there was the 9-line guitar, the wind, and I think like a little lead line thing that I did, right? And then he said, okay, we're gonna start here. And then he put a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, and a shaker in it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so wait a minute. This entire track is only gonna have 8 tracks on it, or 7 or 8 tracks. This is what's going in my mind. I had cymbal swells. If we got all this big ass SSL, boy, we need to use 30 of these tracks in my mind. You know what I mean? Right, let's use all these tracks. He looked at me like, man, you're crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And then if you notice, You Got It Bad, there's no harmonies in the hook. There's only harmonies at the second verse part when it's like, I really adore you, when he makes those references to those other 2 songs. But there's no harmony in the song. It's just him singing lead.
I never noticed that in that
There might be a stack on the hook, you know what I'm saying? And I remember sitting in the studio saying to myself, he's not gonna put no harmonies on his hook, you know?
And I never noticed that You Got It Bad doesn't have really any harmonies in the song, in the vocal, as far as his vocals.
Well, we're not gonna do this is it, you know what I mean? But when it was done, I was just like, oh, this shit is fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I learned a value, like I learned such a big lesson. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I've carried those 3 lessons with me throughout my whole career.
Right. And then that guitar solo at the end.
So that's basically what I want to play from this interview. I thought it was very inspirational to a lot of producers, a lot of you producers out there. Um, you feel like you have to put so much. You feel like you have to put so much in your production. Um, give the artist space. Give the artist space in a song. You think of the greatest producers that has ever lived. They leave space for the artist to sing. And I may do another video talking about uh, live musicians versus producers or musicians in the studio. Studio musicians, because I feel it's a very big difference. I think it's a very big difference as far as skill set, as far as being, as far as being a music producer, a studio music producer, because you think of the greatest songs ever, they left space for the vocals to breathe. First you got to add the top line of a song, and then you have to add the harmonies in most songs. You don't have to add so many harmonies in every song, but you have to give space for the artist to breathe. Of course, a lot these days, people just do loops and stuff like that. But I notice a lot of new producers, they add these certain pads and stuff like that. And I think that's an advantage or a great thing that a lot of these new producers are doing. They're keeping it simple, and they are leaving a lot of space for a lot of artists. But I feel like a lot of people that come from the live musician world, when they come to this side of town, as far as studio musicians, they don't know how to just kind of not add so much, because sometimes you may add like a lead, a synth lead on a song, and it may interfere with the vocal melody. I've noticed a lot in a lot of big producers like Rodney Jerkins, just a lot of those producers during the late 90s and early 2000s. I think their method was that they lay down the skeleton of a song. They have the artist perform or record over that song, and they may add things to really enhance the vocal. And I think that's what we need to do as producers: enhance the vocal, enhance or bring out the artist. It was a certain tip that Rodney Jerkins talked about. He talked about in an interview. He was talking about bringing the vocals up in the second chorus or the bridge in order for the song to build. And you have to think about a lot of those things as far as production, music production. Producers, you have to think about all those things. Brian Michael Cox, he's from a church background, and Jermaine Dupri is more from the hip hop world, where you have a beat and then you have a vocal. But like B Cox said, he want to add all these orchestrations to show. You don't have to add so much just to prove that you're a great producer. Sometimes space is the key. I think about a lot of Babyface songs. It's simple chord progressions, but the melody is strong. He always says in interviews, Babyface, he always says that what makes a great song is a great hook, and a great melody. And I feel that you can have average lyrics, but if that melody is very strong, you can have a great song. You can have a great hit record. And so I just want to encourage you producers, leave space for the artists. Don't think you have to add so much to enhance a song. Just keep it simple, because I feel like Jermaine Dupri is the king of that. He keeps it simple and he create you know, classic songs, legendary songs. You know, you think about We Belong Together or Made for Me. You know, they are simple melodies, simple melodies, but they, you know, they are effective. You know, they're still effective to this day. You know, Jermaine Dupri is still creating hits to this day. So I thought I'd talk about this on this video. Appreciate y'all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, Music Tips and Reviews with JG. And until next time, all right, peace.